the home of the do-it-yourself trucker. When everything goes wrong, you got a Redneckanize. All right. Let's see here, man. Everybody's seem to be working right, and we're getting back at it. There we go. All right, good deal. All right, welcome back. Yeah, we're getting everything back in order finally here, and everything looks good. So yeah, if you want to chime in, 516-387-1733, give us a holler. Push 1 to be part of the conversation. If you check out our website, if you haven't done already, you know, we keep our videos that we put out, or links to the podcast, and just, you know, pictures of what's going on. We have a little calendar thing on there, so if and when we do ever get to go to a truck show again, we're definitely going to put that on there. We're going to keeping our ear to the rail, trying to see what's going on out there, and maybe get somewhere where we can, you know, get together and meet with the truckers and have a good time. So I put a little question out to everybody on the social media, and I just thought it was interesting because as I was driving the other night, there was a lot of activity on the shoulder of the road, where, especially down in South Texas down here where I'm running, there's a lot of drivers that, you know, because of course, you know, it's a 2-lane interstate and there's not much traffic, but when something goes wrong, I mean, like four-wheelers all the time, they just pull off on the side of the road. And I always thought that was weird. I was like, because, I mean, I always thought that was really odd that all that space, and you're just right there on the side of the road. Like, maybe you open your door, the door's over the white line into the road. So why pull off? You got plenty of room, especially out there in West Texas, and the ground is rock hard. You can pull off into the grass a little bit. Some of the shoulders are wider than the lane, so you can get way off of there, but they pull right on there. And especially when you get up into, like, 35 between San Antonio and Austin, there's so much traffic and so much activity. Pulling off onto the shoulder is not what you want to do at all. And I just asked if truck drivers, if you needed to pull off, you know, even if it was, I can understand if it's an emergency, because, you know, the truck broke down, it's not going to go any further. You need to just get off the road, just get out of traffic. There was one time we're coming down, the traffic is moving. It's 3 lanes, but it's construction, so we're all kind of cautious because the lanes are narrower. There's no shoulder on either side, so we're kind of, you know, just you got to stay, you know, you can't just relax right there, you know. So getting down the road, and a truck broke down in the right lane on that highway, just right there, boom, done. And he already had his triangles out and everything, and we all saw it, and you know, of course, we, you know, nobody expected it, so we had to get over, and a lot of truck drivers, the funny thing is that there's a sign that says no trucks left lane, and it's funny where it's like the right lane's blocked. Okay, the right lane's not getting through at all, and you still are afraid to get into the left lane. And I thought that was so funny. But the big deal is that how are people just pulling off and stopping? And I had to think this guy had some kind of catastrophic failure to where he couldn't go any further. There was an exit probably about a half a mile up on the road where they could get off the highway if they could make it, but obviously they couldn't have. I hope they couldn't have, because if they could have and didn't, then that was crazy. But my question is, if you're in a non-emergency situation, you know, and you needed to kind of stop and you know, get things worked out real quick, maybe even fix a sandwich or just, you know, check something out on the truck or whatever, you know, do you just pull off on the shoulder and boom, done? Or do you try to find, you know, me personally, what I try to do is I try to get off the highway, whether it be at a truck stop or a rest area. If not, I'm off the highway. I'm on, like, exit off into like an intersection, a bridge, underpass, get through that or by that, and kind of where there's a soft spot in the road where you can kind of just pull off, and you're not necessarily, you know, you don't want to be in any kind of trouble where you get stuck or anything, but you don't want to be on the road. You don't, and especially you don't want to be on the big road. If I'm going to be like near traffic, I'm going to be near like on-ramp traffic is where I want to be, where people are slowing down to turn onto this on-ramp, and you're kind of just off to the side. And, you know, most of the time you hope that people that are on an on-ramp are at their heightened of paying attention, because they're about to get on the interstate. So you hope that those people are paying attention the most. But I don't think, you know, I'm kind of thinking back to if I can ever remember ever doing that in a non-emergency situation, to just pull off on the side of the road and take care of stuff. Now, if I've done it, like I said, I want to make sure that there's a good, maybe try to get at least a lane away from the main traffic. If not more than just a step or two, you want to be where there's plenty of room. I mean, come to think of it, you always look at to where when cops are pulled off on the side of the road, when they've got somebody pulled over, when they're captured or whatever, you always see the cop, his car is kind of over to the left a little bit more, to where the car is blocking the cop by the door. If the cop is standing by the door of the other car, then he wants his vehicle to block that area, to where you're going to hit his car before you hit him. And and you hope that if you ever get pulled over by the police, that you think about that. Maybe you don't think about that because what's he pulling me over for? I'm going to make it uncomfortable for him if he has to pull me over and all that. And I just I don't see that. I never tried to do that or anything like that. I try to get off. I mean, you'd get off the service ramp onto the service road to a rest area or something like that to pull off. I mean, even if like I've been to rest areas where there's no parking, there's nowhere to park. So, but you're pulled off and you can find somewhere just to stop real quick. I mean, I'd rather block traffic in a rest area than sit out there by the highway, because at least I know that I'm not going to get just plowed. You hear about it all the time where near misses or whatever, mirrors tapping, whatever. I mean, you always hear about that. So I don't think it happens that often, but I put that question out there, and I always thought it was interesting that you see that a lot. You see just a lot. You see, especially four-wheelers pulled out there, just sitting on the shoulder, but truck drivers do it too. And a lot of times those truck drivers, I don't know where they're from to be able to do that, where you, even if they've got a little extra room in like that void space where there's a lot of white lines painted, where there's an on-ramp coming, you always see that there's a voided space. Well, that truck, he'll pull up into that area and he might have a good 2 or 3 feet on each side, but he's still he's out in the middle of everything. I mean, if somebody started skidding and out of control and all that, well, he's right in the path, and I always thought, why would you want to be there if you didn't have to be? So I always thought that was a big deal. But other than that, I thought that was a cool question. And like I said, you can check our Facebook page. I also put it on our Twitter account there. And we can put that out there for everybody to see. And it's pretty interesting. But yeah, that's great stuff out there on the road. That's what happens. You just get it done when it has to get done. That's what Redneckanize is all about. When everything goes wrong, the job still has to get done. You got to Redneckanize. So that's what we talk about. And one of our great sponsors that I'd like to mention is DPF Regeneration. DPF Regeneration is just one of those great little outfits that has just a great network of staff to where they can help drivers just handle all of their particulate filter or regen, what do they call it, the regen system needs and all that, and help you get to the right place, maybe even get the right equipment and make sure that you're buying the right parts and all that. And you can give them a call at 800-634-3010 or check them out at dpfregeneration.com. There's a great bunch of folks out there. They've been supporting us from the very get-go, and they love supporting the trucking industry, like at the truck shows, concerts, stuff like that. They're always trying to help the drivers just have a better life out there on the road, and we really appreciate DPF Regeneration for doing that. And you should check them out. And like I said, go give them a holler, send them an email, let them know that you appreciate what they're doing for Redneckanize and Taylor Barker Music and Unplugged Radio Network, and just let them know, because they always love hearing stuff like that. So we're going to step away and take a little break here and figure out what's going on with my cough. But other than that, just checking things out. We'll see you in a bit.